Well, hello. This is new for me. I never thought I would ever be doing something like this. I didn't know how to start or what I was doing. I just want to start off by saying a big thank you to all the wonderful comments I had on my mother's channel that she did with a friend. I think without those comments, it wouldn't have inspired me to create my own content to talk about subjects that are important to me and subjects that we should all talk about as people, whether or not we suffer or know someone who does suffer. We need to break the stigma. We need to break the barriers that determine how we think about others that suffer with autism and other things such as mental health. Things that are deeply important to me, things that I've had my own sufferings with. It's been a subject that I, for years, had never really known how to talk about. I was always very open with my emotions. I've never been someone who's closed away. I've never really known a life where I haven't expressed how I feel to people. And that's given me a great deal of benefit because I've met a lot of people, especially young men, who suffer a lot with their emotions and don't know how to express themselves. I myself have been very blessed to have been brought up with a member of my family who is my mother, who is a therapist. She drummed it in me from a very young age how to be, or what it is that overcomes those stigmas that, say, a doctor or a profession would tell you or tell your mother or child how they should behave and what they're going to amount to. And that brings me on to the first thing, is when I was very young, my mother was told that I would never amount to anything, that I would spend my life in care or under my mother's wing. And for a mother, that must be deeply disconcerting. It must be deeply powerful, because every mother who longs to bring their child into the world wants their best for their child. And the idea that their child would be litched to them for the rest of their life, that's a horrifying thing. And I'm not sure where along the line of me growing up did I realise where I stood, or how I was going to sort of have this epiphany moment, because that's kind of what this was for me, is that I realised what it was that I was. And not that that was a bad thing, but if I had stayed in that place, I wouldn't be who I am now. And I can only see that as a good thing. And I realised very young that I was different. I followed a different crowd. I preferred my own company, and I found a lot of things intimidating and terrifying. Now, I'd always known that I had some sort of autism. I felt it. I'd known how my brain works. And I think that was kind of the breaking point. It was compartmentalizing with other people. It was that moment where, because you're not supposed to understand that you have autism, and you're not supposed to necessarily know how to deal with it on day one. To me, what the moment was it was that moment where I realised that I was different. And I wanted to work out why I was different. And over years, it wasn't me trying to compare myself and be someone that I'm not. It was seeing how I fitted in, how I looked at the world, and how I dealt with it. Because to me, realization and talking about it and trying to find some sort of common ground, it wasn't my way of trying to be normal. It was me expressing the fact that I can fit in my own way, and that I can blend in, and I can have different parts of my personality fit with other people, but for my benefit. I would never do anything for anyone else in a bad way. I would never try and follow someone else's crowd for their benefit. I would only do it for me. If I felt I enjoyed it and I could find a common ground with that person, then I would do that myself, and that would bring me a lot of gratification. So there were moments at a very young age where I realised that there was something very different. I'd spent years in school, and obviously I remember vividly my mum being pulled in and me being in parents' evenings and being told, well, he's done this, what do we do? How do we deal with it? And obviously, only recently has autism been something that we kind of understand to a degree, because it's so individual, like ourselves, that my mum had never really known what the answers to these questions. She just knows who I am as a mother, because the only people that know them best are the parents of these young people. And I think, she was worried because she didn't necessarily know how to deal with it herself. She just followed her heart and intuition, and it clearly paid off. But at the time, there was a lot of obscurity about how I was going to grow as an individual. And I was very lucky because I had fantastic people in my schools, that members of staff that were able to support me when I was challenging. But I also helped that because I realised at that point that there was something different, and I was trying to work out how I could fit in. And I realised probably in my last year before I moved to a different school, I realised that there was something that was different about me, and it was a powerful moment. And I started to stand up. I didn't want a TA with me when in class. I didn't like the idea that I had a member of staff with me in my lessons when everyone else was independent. And I started to build up a sort of level of pride. And that was the beginning of when I started to know and realise, okay, well, how can I overcome this? How can I start building up my foundations to me being more of an individual and doing things independently? But also there was another side to this. It was the fact is that autism is still a thing. Whether or not you realise it's a thing is a different matter. But the different needs that I had, the things like attention span, only showing interest in things that I love, well, that's still true now. And I'm very much someone who, if I don't like something, I don't necessarily try to learn it. My brain refuses to. It's like it's a second entity in my head. It's not that I'm being stubborn. It's got nothing to do with that. If I don't like something, if I'm not interested in joining into some sort of sports game or board game or sort of affair with people, like in a party or something, if it's not interesting to me, I won't try and engage in it, because I know that my brain won't let me. It just will switch off. It will switch off completely to whatever that subject is, even if I can learn it and even if it's easy. I just won't. And I think as I've gotten older, that's become easier because I'm looking at it from a non-single perspective. I'm looking at, well, let me do it for them. Let me try and do it for them because they'll enjoy it if I join in. And I think that was, again, some of the first stepping stones into realising how I could become someone to fit in with others. And it all started from a quite incredible moment, because I'd always been told since I was very young that I had a good ability to communicate and talk with people. Did I know how to? No, but having a mother as a therapist, I was fascinated by how people talk and communicate with each other, and how sometimes easy it can be for someone to express emotions when they're kind of targeted to do so. I think the problem is that when you have families that don't talk, that don't communicate, you're not going to have that inquisitiveness to go, okay, let me look at this, let me learn how I can do this. And the problem is that the subject of this channel is to talk about things, is to get words out there, because I respect and understand that not everyone can necessarily talk about their autism because there's different various aspects of it. I'm obviously more mild, but I also do have things that I find challenging about myself. And I realised that the only way to overcome that is by talking about these things, understanding how they work, because you're not necessarily talking to someone to try and get an answer from them to what you need to hear. I've learned that sometimes just talking about it, you hear it yourself, and then you find an answer to your problem. And of course that doesn't work all the time, but it's been a great asset to me. And just by being able to express how I feel to someone, like with most mental health problems, just by communicating can be extremely beneficial. And of course you might get the help you need. But I completely respect that not everyone with autism, on different levels of the spectrum and extremities, they can express how they feel because of verbal problems or physical problems or mental disability. I do openly respect that, but what we need to do is we need to talk on behalf of them. We need to understand what works best for them, how we can benefit them. Look around, be around the people that you believe you trust, and listen to what they have to say, because I'm merely just a vessel. You know, I'm someone who you can talk to, hopefully learn from, and go off and do something else. And if I've changed just one person's life, if I've helped just one individual, there's nothing more powerful than that. And that's all I seek to do. I'm not here to try and help the world talk more. I want that. Is it going to happen? I don't know, maybe. But I believe in myself, and I believe I'm here for a reason, and I believe in my goals in life. And I have a duty. One of my favourite sayings is that with those who don't have a path in life, those who feel lost, one of the only lessons you should ever learn is that great things only come for those who help to serve humanity. I tried to say that without messing up. I think I got that. Probably not. But in a nutshell, if you don't know what you're doing with your life, believe you can help others. Believe that you have a reason to exist. Because that mindset alone will change your life. And that's what changed for me. And I'm pretty great in myself. But life isn't without challenges. And, you know, only up until recently, I've been in a bad place. I've dealt with it, but I've got through it because I've learnt my techniques and my strategies and how to do that. So I want to leave this video with just one thing. Talk. Whether or not it's to the person that you need to help, someone in their life, someone around them, give them hope, tell them that it is going to be okay. Because death is the only end to a problem. If you're alive, then there's always hope. There's always a chance that something might get better. And I appreciate, like I've said, I'm not going to be able to help everyone. I don't know how many people I am going to help. But I know for a fact that I feel I'm blessed with the ability to communicate and talk. And if I'm the one with autism and I've learned to understand how it works and how I can help others, then who's to say that there's a limit to that? A limit to myself? Who says that? So, in many ways, I'm the best example of what can happen when you believe that you can do it. And I've just started, you know. What I have planned is grand and exciting, and I can't wait to see where this goes and where my life goes. So, that's all I've got to say really for the first video. I hope it's not been too odd. I hope you like where I'm currently situated. I'm going to be between my house and here. It has a lot more character here. This is not just a round building, it actually is significant to me, to my heart. So, you know, I'll come here, I'll go there, I might try different places, go in the outdoors if it's not windy. And, you know, places of inspiration that I feel that would suit me better to talk about these things with you. So, yeah, anything you'd like me to change for next time, anything that you would feel that would work better for me, I'm open to listen. If you've loved this video, give it a like. If you want to hear more, subscribe. If not, that button also does work as well. So be safe and have a great day, and thanks for watching.